welcome to another edition of New Frontiers, the show where we explore Portugal and meet some of the enterprising people who have chosen not only to start a new life in this beautiful country, but also to start a new business. We explore the ups, the downs, the pitfalls and the opportunities of starting a whole new life and new business in another country. Today we have travelled to the beautiful mountains of Lousã to meet an artist who originates from Scotland and learn a little bit about her Portuguese experience. Hi Jan, thank you for taking the time to talk with us today. Why don't you start by introducing yourself, where you're originally from, and tell us a little bit about what you do.
Right, okay, so I'm janhannah. I'm from Scotland and I have been living in Bulgaria for the past 15 years. And I'm an artist now. It's taken quite a while, I think. I've been dipping in and out for a lot of years. And I moved here to Portugal just under 2 years ago. So it was time in Bulgaria for a lot of different reasons. It was just time for a bit of a change of life. Mm-hmm. And so here I am trying to start up for the first time in my life. Actually, I'm trying to make an actual profession of selling my artwork. So that's I now have a website. I now have business cards. And I am working full time. Every morning I work. And when it's nice weather in the afternoons, I go and swim in these lovely river pools that we have around about us. But I can only generally go from maybe about 7 o'clock till lunchtime. And then that's me, but every day I'm doing it. And I'm learning a lot. And that's my little goal in life at the moment. That's what's got the fire going in my belly.
So you said you came to Portugal about 2 years ago?
Mm-hmm, just under, yeah.
Why did you choose Portugal?
Well, I chose Portugal because I did not want to return to Scotland, much as I love it. Very proud Scottish girl, but did not want to go back there. I think Portugal's got quite a good reputation just now for being, it's a safe place, it's a friendly place, and it's a relatively cheap place, and it's a beautiful place. Mm-hmm. So that seems good enough to give it a try.
Did you always plan on starting this type of business in Portugal?
Well, no. No. I think always wanted to do something a bit more with my art at some point, and I think it was just a different mixture, combinations of circumstances that have kind of like led me here and allowed me to do it, given me the time. I'm quite time rich, and it's the time in life.
Has your work been well received by the local community?
So far, it has. It's been quite surprising. I've had only one exhibition at Goish, which I know you know, and I put a little advert on my Facebook, and I actually managed to sell some paintings before the exhibition from people I didn't even know. So yeah, I would say it's going well. It's been quite surprising, especially I think because of. Well, the type of work I've always done, it was illustration that I did, and it was always a very detailed and kind of in the box. It's like wildlife illustration is what, and I always wanted to do more abstract paintings, but I think when you're younger, maybe either through insecurities or just not confident or whatever. Like scribbling outside the lines was just a bit scary for me, and I never did it for years and years, and I always used to really think I'd love to understand more about abstract painting or semi-abstract. And the style of work I did, I kind of got a little bit disillusioned with it because it's all just so finite and detailed and just different. So when I came here to this house, I'd been in this house for about a year. I bought a whole load of second-hand canvases from the second-hand shops because, COVID was finishing and all of the markets were starting up again. And I probably spent about 7 months just repainting over these canvases and repainting over them and just making a mess and throwing everything out and hating what I was doing. And then eventually something started, just kind of like the penny dropped in my mind, I think a little bit anyway, and I became a lot more relaxed with the abstract. And it all started to make more sense to me, because all of the painting I've done up until up until now, it's all been, or drawing, it's all been to do with copying either what's in front of me or something, image. Whereas abstract is all about mark making, and it's all about not having anything in front of you. So that's been a massive challenge, and it's a different part of my brain that I'm using. And it took a long time to feel that I was producing anything. But hey-ho, the wonders of the brain started to make things that I think I'm starting to understand as well. And even though I find it very time consuming, like I've usually got about 2 paintings going on at the same time. And sometimes I'm using both my hands with a scraper and something, just all of this mark making, which is so alien to me. And then I've got to stop and think about what I'm doing, and that takes a long time. And I either go and have a coffee or I go for a walk, and then I come back. And actually, the paintings take me at least a month. And I suppose people that don't think very much about abstract painting will think, well, that's just been really quick. You've just put a lot of blobs on a bit of paper on a canvas. But it isn't really like that, because it's a different part of the brain. I hope that, in time to come, my brain will start kicking in a little bit faster. But I've been really helped a lot by YouTube. And there are some amazing women, mostly women, I have to say, abstract artists that are around my age. And it's very inspiring. And they've all got their own YouTube channels. And they take you through. They're not being snobby, because art can be quite a snobby thing. They're not being in any way snobby about it. They're showing you exactly what they're using and what their methods are. And they're all so different. And they're being very giving with their help to help you. And so I've been quite obsessed with all of them as well. So I watch them in the evenings. It's a really boring life if somebody's not into art, what I do. But yes, I do. I watch them most evenings, and I've got my favourite 6 that I watch all the time.
So what would you say, or who would you say, is your biggest inspiration?
These ladies on YouTube, really, just now, they really are, because I did get so fed up with all of the other stuff I do, which I'll show you later, the YouTube thing. And I think also maybe just, I think it's really personally enjoyable to free up all of this that for years and years I thought I could never do. And now I know that I can. I think it took the months of just creating rubbish after rubbish after rubbish and keep on going with that. I think I just was never able to do that before. I don't know why.
You've now liberated yourself.
I hope so. I hope so. It's still difficult though, because this house is small. That's my studio through this. I can't even call it a studio. You can only fit one person through there. And it's just wall-to-wall canvases. And so that's where I do my acrylic. And this is where I do the oils up there. I stand there and do the oils. It's a bit ridiculous. And what I want to do is I want to get much bigger, and I want to use, I've got all of my tubes of acrylics through there, but I want there to be big pots, and I want to be able to put my canvas on the floor and just not always have it on an easel. So I want quite a lot, and I can't have that here because it's dark and it's small.
Do you have any future plans for your art?
Yeah.
So obviously you want to
I do.
expand.
Oh, yeah, I definitely do. I want it to go the way I want it to go. It has to get bigger. And I just need more light and more space. I want to use different things as well. Like I want to try spray paints. I want to try different solvents and all sorts of things. And this is my living space. I can't do that here either. So I'm still a little bit in a box, but not nearly as much in a box as I was mentally doing all of the detailed work. So I'm maybe halfway to where
You're on your journey.
I'm on my journey, indeed I am. Yeah.
Well, that brings me on to my last question. I'll be happy to hear. Do you have any advice for anybody that's thinking of moving to Portugal and starting work or starting
work? Any advice? Yeah, well, I would say I think it's we said this before, I think it is the country just now in Europe of possibilities. I think everything's going up, everything's getting bigger. There's a huge amount of foreign people who live here. There's very little violence, and there's a lot more people coming here. So it's starting to get a bit of a vibrant thing going. And I certainly noticed last year with things like nice foods in restaurants and things like that. I definitely noticed. I mean, I've not been here for long enough, but even online, when I'm looking around online, it's all getting there because I spent so long in Bulgaria, it was like going back in 50 years, and they were really quite slow to catch on to the modern world. It sounds a bit insulting, and Portugal's a little bit like that, but not as much as Bulgaria. There's, I mean, I would say it's happening. It is happening, and the only negative thing I think really is that nobody tells you how cold it is in the winter.
I would have to agree with that.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
If you look up how cold it gets, it says like maybe -1 or -2, but the houses are like deep freezers, aren't they?
Yep. Well, I think even if people tell you that, you wouldn't believe them because
No,
like, we're Scottish,
it's a cold
so
I've
it's
never
like
experienced. So I don't know what's going to happen to me this winter. I'm not doing that again.
Yeah, it can be pretty tough.
The next exhibition, I think, it's either going to be up in the little village of Talishnau or it's going to be back at Goish. So I'm not entirely sure about that. And then I've got some booked for next year with a pastel artist.
Wow.
So we're going to get together and do some stuff together. So hopefully it's onwards and upwards. It's just quite difficult getting a name for yourself when you haven't actually been anyone in the art world. I've always been quite quiet, so I need to get out there.
Yeah. Well, you come to the right place.
Good.
So a big thank you to Jan for sharing her story and her experiences with us. We hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss another episode. And please join us again next time as we'll be exploring some new frontiers.